Hey, what's up you guys? So today I wanted to do a video breakdown on an exercise that I posted on my social media a few days ago. And I'm gonna be using this really cool app called Coach's Eye, so I'll bring it up on the screen here. And what the app allows me to do is kind of actually mess with the video a little bit and then draw on it. So we're gonna be looking at certain key points to why I chose this movement over traditional lunges. And just to preface, this is called an FP lunge, or a functional patterns lunge. And although I think it's been used in the past, it's been more popularized, and this is how it's become more familiar to me, is through functional patterns. So I want to definitely preface that and give these guys credit because they're amazing with their practice and what they've really uncovered and what I've learned from them. So to start out, we can see, and I want to draw your attention first to the base at which we get to work from using this versus a traditional lunge. So in a traditional lunge, you're much wider. You've got a bigger base. With this, your heel and your back toe are much closer together. If you can see sort of from the video there, and the words are kind of in the way, so you just kind of have to look past it. But my knee for my foot that's in the background is right around my midfoot toe region, which again keeps it nice and condensed. Now the advantage there is if I were to draw a line down my center of mass, then from this position, when I go into my extension or go into my the rest of the movement and exercise, my center of mass stays relatively the same, and I can come back down again, staying nice and aligned with my center of mass. Now what's advantageous about that is I don't have to swing that around. So I have to swing my center of mass around, then I have to continuously regain balance and adapt to that. Now that's great for dynamics when you're moving forward, but that has you doing that very consistently with a load that isn't at my center of mass, i.e. something up here like the kettlebell that I'm holding, or dumbbells by my sides. Moving that load horizontally is going to take a lot more effort because I have to continue to use my center of mass and shift it around. Now, that's all fine and dandy, but when you go into something like this from a wide lunge, you're very limited in terms of how much you can accomplish from that position. You know, most naturally, moving forward makes most sense if you're holding dumbbells by your side and you're doing that wide lunge, because trying to press back from a wide lunge, if anybody's tried that before, is very difficult because your feet are much wider. Here, pressing back is much easier, and as a matter of fact, I do that in an explosive way with this movement. Stepping back, switching legs, and I can even continue to do that step back without switching legs, or I can move forward just like a traditional lunge. So again, it gives me much more options, and with this narrower base down here, I can keep my body's, again, center of mass nice and focused, localized, and I won't have to adapt too much to that. Okay, you want to definitely make sure that that front heel is nice and flat on the ground, and that way you're drawing power from your glutes during hip extension. And as you're going through the motion, you also notice a couple other things start to extend. You notice that this starts to open up, okay? So your glutes are firing, your hips are opening up. There's extension at the knee, and then you'll start to see extension at the ankle as well. This is the mechanics that you would use when you're walking, running, jumping, anything like that. And you can kind of see that this move allows me to train all of that at the same time. Boom. And then if we go into this ending position here, we can see what the leg that we previously marked out does. You can see that there's full extension now here at the hips. That knee is fully extended, and of course the ankle did extend right there. Okay, you can see that ankle did go into extension fully when it pops back, and then now as I land, still got a little bit of extension there. I'm on my toe, but there's a very springy nature to that. So I go into extension, and then I can easily spring back down into the next position. Reverse that a little bit. You can see how easy it is to kind of go from one at the bottom of the movement to finishing a press and coming right back down into that nice centralized position, again with that center of mass nice and solid. Now if we forward the movement a little bit to go into that full step back, again it shows us the versatility of starting in this tight lunge or in this smaller lunge. Ignore the load completely. You can see that I'll go into that extension once again at the hips, knees, and at the ankles. And then I can literally just step back. Okay. Now I'm shifting my weight, my center of mass, horizontally, but you can kind of see how much control I have in that and how easy it is to return back to the original position without losing any of the power, without putting my body in any weak or compromising positions. I can easily move movement to movement. Okay. So besides triple extension, I do want to give you guys a little bit extra insight here, because what I'm noticing out of my movements here is that there are still a couple faults. Now this is a finisher, it's at the end of the workout. It was designed to basically take you from a nice, fully energized state, take the rest of that energy that you have left in the tank and use it all up. It's a finisher, a burnout, whatever you want to call it. But typically where I would end these is when the form really starts to break down, and then I'm no longer creating the integrity of the movement that I want to create, that I want to train. Because your body will adapt to how you train. You train shitty, your body will perform shitty. You might get really good at performing shitty, but ultimately that makes it so that your ceiling is lowered. Okay, and I'm all about making sure my ceiling is as high as possible, that I'm reaching the heights that are available to me, and I want to create that access by making sure that everything is on point. So let's go back to the movement here. And what we kind of see, again, we look at the triple extension and we pay attention to the knees, the hips, and the ankles. There's going to be the triple extension that occurs here. But what I want you to notice, that's the end of the movement there. We got full extension through the leg. All right. What I want you to notice here is one thing that I do well to start out is position the body. Okay, body's nice and centered, center mass through there. But here's where it goes wrong. There's a straight line between the ears, the shoulders, and the hips here that maintains this nice neutral spine. So what ends up happening, however, is as I'm pressing down, which is what I'm trying to do, press down through the feet so that my body can go up. See if you can see what happens. See if you can identify where exactly I see this fault occurring. Now, it looks pretty good coming up because it looks like that straight line between my ears, shoulders, and hips are maintained. However, there's a frame right there where you can see that I am pulling a little bit upwards with my T-spine, which isn't a bad thing if it looked more controlled and I was transferring the energy properly. So there's a little bit of a spring because you're using your entire body there. But what I'm noticing out of this is because of that slight extension in my C and T-spine, cervical, neck, and then T thoracic, which is in between your shoulders and that region there, what I notice is that my rib cage is also coming up, which takes me out of alignment. When my rib cage is down and level with the rest of my body, that's a neutral spine. Here, I take it slightly out of neutral in the extension. So again, it's a very subtle extension through that part and that part of the spine, and thus takes my rib cage up at a bit of an angle. Gotta buy that tool. So because my rib cage is up, my body isn't as streamlined as it can be, and there's a little bit of power leaking out of there. although I do see that I've got my belly button drawn in pretty well. I can tell that because my shirt is nice and floppy instead of filled up with my belly. And bam, I can finish the movement quite proficiently, even though there was a little bit of power leakage there. So that would be something that I would pay more attention to, and also something that I probably would have never seen unless somebody was telling me. I had a coach right there, or using this app or using video to record and review. So you can kind of see here, ribs nice and level, so not too shabby, pretty good. But I can bet you that some of these repetitions, and if you look at that video, some of them do have my rib cage a little bit more tilted up because of that tendency to try to pull. I want to make sure this video is not too long. It's already been long enough, so I wanted to just give you guys a little bit of insight on that. Hopefully it was informational, helpful, fun for you. Pretty cool tool. If you guys want me to break down other movements, let me know, and I can most definitely do that. So let me know. Thank you guys for listening. Like this video so it can send itself around Facebook. Leave me a comment. Okay, more words means it pops up more. And yeah, let me know what you want to see. And yeah, so thanks for listening. Talk to y'all later.